Andy Stevenson for SevereMMA, and I am sitting alongside Leon the Professional Hill, who has a big fight coming up this Saturday, 29th of July, a Cage Warriors Rome against Dumitru Girlean. 6 fights in, we'll say a year. It's 6 days more than a year, but I'm going to count it as a year. How have you managed to stay this active?
Yeah, it's a good one, Andy. So when I had that first fight this time last year, I knew just once me and Chris were talking, once we got one, that it was going to be in a row. That was the plan. We were planning on staying active, all going good, staying healthy, no injuries. We were going to just keep one after another. Obviously in the regional scene, it was kind of easy to do that because there was loads of shows, so I was able to like build that record up, get in, stay consistent, and then the plan was a couple of wins and then sign with Cage Warriors. That was the plan, you know. Yeah,
I noticed you in one of your Instagram posts, you were saying, you know, kind of giving thanks or gratitude for the fact that you've come out of the camp injury free. Has it been like when you're fighting that actively, it's got to be tough to keep the body? Like, it's the camps, they always say, that are the ones that kind of take the most toll on the body. Has it been tough to stay injury free all year?
Just a few niggles here and there. I do a lot of strength conditioning and a lot of recovery, so I build a body not to break. So that's what my S&C coach says: build a body not to break. So yeah, I'm good to go always, Andy, you know. Yeah,
look, I mean, it's a great opportunity. Obviously it's been a hectic week for Team KF with Taka and James obviously competing. Taka was a brilliant performance, and James, he looked fantastic, and obviously he got clipped in the end and didn't win. Were you over there? Were you watching?
I was actually flaked out watching it. Obviously a week out from Rome, so it wouldn't have been ideal to go over, you know. I just kind of kept loose over here, kept the sweat on, kept sharp with a few of the lads, but watched it at home. Yeah, look, Taka looked very good. I was delighted with Taka. James looked very good as well until he got caught. Look, that's it, you know, 4-inch gloves, you get caught in the chin. That can be it, Andy, you know. So
yeah, we spoke before your last fight and after, and both times you were calling for that London show. Was that originally the plan? You know, did you want to get on that show with them?
That was the original plan. I was chatting to Chris. He was saying that me and the lads signed the Cage Warriors. It was either going to be Wales, London, or Rome. And I actually smiled and said I'd like Rome, and Chris said we'd all love Rome. Do you know what I mean? So, and then it happened to it worked out, Andy. We got this fight against Girlean, and look, I'm happy, you know.
Yeah, I want to talk about the fight with Girlean, but I want to go back as well. It was an amazing performance in Dublin. You spoke about, you know, visualizing the moment. We have a bit of time out from it now, so like when you kind of reflect back on that, like how do you look back on that night in Dublin?
Yeah, there was, as we said, like there was a lot of visualization gone into that. Like I visualized that moment for months, you know, and I knew, look, all respect to Marcin, but I knew what was going to happen that night. I knew I was going to dominate him, you know. Like the plan was to get into Cage Warriors and just go through these lads for a shortcut and get fighting top opposition straight away, because I want that belt, Andy, you know. But yeah, when I think back to that night, look, it was an unreal night. It was a great experience, able to share it with the lads, and me home crowd was there, me girlfriend was there, all my family, friends. It was great, you know.
Yeah, there's about, I think, 6,000 people in attendance that night. To go from fighting in a local shows to an arena like that, it's, you know, it's different, right?
Yeah,
so
completely.
Do you feel like, I mean, you clearly reacted well to it?
Reacted well to it, but look, anybody who says they don't get nervous before fights is full of shit, you know. Like, I remember being up in the dressing room. Adam went and got the win. Adam Shelley went and got the win, so I come back into the dressing room. Energy was high. I fed off that. But look, I could hear the crowd screaming when Adam walked out. And then Chris came back up and he goes, "There's going to be some pop off this crowd when you walk out, so I hope you, like, just be ready for it." I said, "I'm fucking ready for it," like, you know what I mean? And yeah, so
when Chris comes back and says it to you, does that add to the nerves, or does it subdue them?
It's nerves, but it's excitement as well. Yeah. So like, look, you can either crumble under that pressure or you can feed off, and I know I'm feeding off it every day of the weekend, you know.
Yeah. That night, it was, you know, a number of teammates were competing as well. When you go to Rome this coming weekend, it's just yourself.
Yeah, completely.
Do you like that? I mean, I guess you haven't had the experience yet within Cage Warriors, but Are you looking forward to that, like the spotlight being on you, or would you prefer to fight on a
look,
team?
don't get me wrong. For me, I'd love to share the card with my teammates. Obviously, I'm not really that type of selfish guy that's like, oh no, I just want myself on the card. I love sharing moments and experiences with my teammates and wins. Look, wins and losses. It's not always about the win. It's just about experience as well and moments. And I'd love to share the card with my teammates, but no fights kind of fell through for the lads. So I guess it's me going over, and I'll happily fly that flag for Ireland.
Yeah, you obviously visualised the moment in Dublin, hearing the crowd. You spoke to me after your last one where like you had that moment where you took it all in, you were looking at the crowd. Yeah. And now you're going into enemy territory, fighting fighting an Italian guy in Rome. But like have you visualised that? Like are you kind of thinking about that it's going to be entirely different to your last fight?
Yeah, no, I've been visualising this a lot. Like lately, I've been doing a lot. Like I go into the sauna. I go into really high temperature saunas after sessions, and that's where I do a lot of visualization, and I have been visualizing a lot of what way this is going to be, what like the walkout, everything, like going through scenarios in my head constantly of the way this fight is going to kind of play out, like visualizing myself in bad positions, good positions, just visualizing, trying to visualize the smell of the place, everything, Andy, absolutely everything,
And so when you're visualizing, like what do you see?
So when I'm visualizing it, I actually went back to the last Cage Warriors Rome card and just flicked through the card just to look at the walkout, because it's in the same arena. So I'll just go back and I won't necessarily watch the fights. I'm just watching the walkout, I'm watching the arena, I'm watching the cage, I'm watching all that type of stuff just so I can get ready for it,
Coming into this one, when you're fighting so actively, as I said, your sixth fight in just over 12 months. At this point in your career, I imagine there's a lot of skill development while you're also trying to get that experience. Mm-hmm. How do you find that you're balancing the two when you're fighting so frequently? Yeah, that's a great question, Andy. Chris actually said it to me recently. I've kind of just been putting my head down and kind of just going flat, Chris actually pulled me aside and he was like your skill is fucking, it's jumping so much, man, and he was like, sometimes it's hard to see how good you really are getting, because this gym, the lads know your game. So when I'm doing my rounds, the lads train with me every single day. They know my game, and I'm still getting me stuff off. So what's going to happen with a lad that doesn't know me game? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to get whatever I want going. I have so many sequences and things that I can just keep pulling off. And lads that know me game, lads that I basically live with, I'm getting stuff going. Do you get me? So I'm developing. And Chris said it to me recently. He was like, you're getting much better. So even with the activity, I'm still getting better, So. Dublin, I think, highlighted your level to me. Going into that one, it was a domestic matchup. Two Irish guys who had success in the regional show. And no disrespect to Marcin Zimbala, all credit to him, but I think you showed that you were a level above that night.
100%.
Coming into this one, what do you when you look at this matchup? You've got a guy who's just taken out Adam Cullen. Adam Cullen, I rate incredibly highly. I thought he was going to. I still do think he'll be at the top of that division in time. Is this to show at the European level now where your skill set is? Yeah,
look, all respect to Girlean, he came in on 2 weeks' notice and he ended up knocking Cullen out. It was a great shot, Coming into this one, I'm very confident, Andy, as you said, it's time to cement myself as one of the best in Europe now,
Were you impressed by his performance against Cullen?
Yeah. Being honest, I was pretty impressed with it. It was he fought he fought for every inch. He didn't settle once. He showed great heart, and his skill set's decent, but I just know how good I am. I see a clear path to victory.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about the specific matchup in a minute, but I think it's a really interesting time right now in Cage Warriors, and for Irish fighters, to be honest. We've got George Hardwick, who's just gone. He's gone to the Contender Series, and many thought he might go direct to the UFC, but he's gone. The champion's gone, and it leaves the division wide open. And there's not really, in my opinion, the complete standouts for this guy's definitely fighting for the title. When you look at the division at the moment, how do you see it?
I'm not, yeah, same as you. Like, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't really know. Like, you have James Power fighting the same night as me and Ron now as well. Like, I go out and beat Girlean. He goes out and beats Oman. Is it me and him for number one contender?
I mean, that's a great option.
But that's what I mean. Like, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I go out beat Girlean. He goes out beats Oman. Me and him for title contention. You know. I'm trying to think of who else. You have Cullen on the sidelines at the minute. He's going to have to bounce back and get another one or two.
Aggie Sardari, the former champion.
Yeah, he's still there actually. I forget about some lads, you know. There's some veterans still there as well that you forget about. But look, I'm ready for a while, Andy. I'm ready for a while.
Are you still actively looking? Because I know when we spoke before, you were like, it was Adam Cullen you mentioned, and James Power, and I think there's someone else I'm forgetting now.
I think it was just it
might have been two of them. Yeah. But like, you were actively looking at the division. Are you still?
Yeah. I have my eyes on that. Look, I don't want to obviously look past this next fight. I do a lot of visualization, and I do look to the future, and I manifest a lot of things backed up by hard work and self-belief, and I do be looking at these matchups. And when I beat Girlean, I'd like Power next, but like, I need to get through this one, and I am going to, and then I'd like hopefully Power beats your man as well, and I'd like that one. That's the fight I'd like, you know. Cullen's, I think, September. He's going to fight someone in September. Look, let's see what way it lines up, Andy. I'm ready for however, you know, whenever.
I was just in London and I asked the UFC, one of the executives, David Shaw, about Dublin, and the fact that the UFC are they're very clearly putting more of a spotlight on Ireland right now. They're starting to sign Irish fighters with the likes of Caelan and Reese. And others continuing to sign for the UFC. Does that give you hope as someone coming through, you know, the same feeder league essentially in Cage Warriors?
Oh, absolutely, Andy. You know, like looking at the likes of Caelan, Reese, and all these people going to the UFC. You know, like it used to be like, you know, unheard of. Obviously, Conor paved the way, and now like it's nearly like you just know that there's just going to be like an open gate. And it's just going to be a flood of Irish fighters. I think now, Andy, in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see at least 8 to 9 UFC fighters in there, you know. And I believe a good few from this gym, you know. I really do, like.
It's interesting as well because like you have like the likes of George Hardwick, who he's a champion, but he's gone through the Contender Series.
Yeah.
And then you've got Owen Elliott at welterweight. He hasn't won the belt. Yeah. He's in the Contender Series. And then you have other fighters who are signing directly. So it's
a weird one.
There's different ways though.
There is different ways. And
there doesn't seem to be a clear cut. You know, this is you go from A to B to C.
I know.
When you look at it though, like, are you thinking, right, I want to get the belt first, or I just want to go as quick as I can, get the Contender Series, or like what? What do you think of all that? What's your ideal scenario?
Yeah, for me, I'd like to win the belt. That's something I'd love.
Why?
It's just something like Chris had the belt, Cottle had the belt, James had the belt. So it's kind of nearly like a KF thing at this stage that like I've looked at. Like when I go out there and I'm training the mats, like from the moment I joined there, I've been looking at that belt. It's just caught my eye, and I've done a lot of visualization with it on my shoulder. And it's just something I really, really want. Now, that's not to say if the UFC came to me before winning that belt, I would sign with the UFC, because, as I said, when I got into this as a young boy, it was for the UFC. It wasn't for the Cage Warriors world title. But I believe I can win the Cage Warriors belt and go. I'm still young, Andy. I'm only 24 years of age, you know. I'm in no rush to go to the UFC. You know?
Is it, you know, when you have the UFC, you know, you've spoken to me before being a full-time fighter. Financially, I imagine it's tough right now.
It's very tough. It's very tough, Andy. It's like sponsors that help me out here and there. I'm very grateful for it. Shout out to all of them, you know. It's a struggle. It's a full-time fighting. As you said, financially, it's very, very hard. But I've a bit of help with a few people here and there, and without them, I'd be completely fucked, you know.
Yeah. So look. The next step is Dumitru Girlean. This is a great. I said that with the last one. It was a great matchup. But this is an even better one, I think, because both of you. So 6-1 versus 5-1. Yeah. All of your wins are finishes. All of his wins are finishes. Yeah. This is on paper a phenomenal matchup. Yeah. When you visualize, you're a man for visualization. How do you see this playing out?
I think, I dictate where the fight goes, you know, like in that fight with Cullen, I believe Cullen could have finished him. If Cullen had
played success early, right?
If Cullen had played the right game, I reckon he could have finished him. And I've seen holes in Girlean's game that I can capitalise on, and I'm going to. you know.
Are you going to tell us the host?
Oh no, I'll keep them to myself, Andy, and you'll see on the night.
Do you do predictions?
Yeah, I do predictions. I reckon second round TKO. Second round TKO, yeah.
Okay, so assuming second round TKO, what's your ideal next step then? Is it the James Perry? Like, I think that makes a ton of sense. You've got both of you guys on the card. You know, obviously this is MMA, things happen. Yeah. But if both of you guys win, you've called them out, or not called them out, but you know, you've said that you've expressed your interest in wanting to test your skills against him.
That's it. He's 5-0 now, and I believe that like people are talking about him being next to the title. So that's like, you know, I believe I'm on my way up towards that. If he's on his way up towards that, as I said, I beat one of his teammates, he beat one of my teammates. It makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So,
will you call for a title shot with a win here?
I probably will, yeah. I probably will, Andy. Yeah. Like I know how go out and dominate this lad, and I will dominate him. Like I know, like the feeling of dominating him that night. I'm going to be calling for that belt. You know, I'm saying now probably, but I know on the night when I dominate him, I will be. Yeah. You know, so.
Well, look, I'm excited. I think this is a fantastic matchup. And look, as I said, Cage Warriors lightweight division wide open. Yeah. Who knows what can happen? And if you don't ask, you don't get. So, look, safe travels over to Rome. All the best come Saturday night. You guys can watch Cage Warriors 158 on UFC Fight Pass. Watch Leon the Professional Hill fighting out of Team KF, taking on Dumitru Girlean. 2 finishers. It's going to be a banger. Check it out.